All right. Yeah, packed up. Just got a bit of swag. Chuck it in and ready to get back into it. And tidy the fire up as well. Not too cold, just right. There's a big hole in the ground. All right. Got my hat on because I've been through this tunnel before and there's quite a few bugs and bats on the roof. So I thought I'd leave it be and try and not get something in my hair that I don't want in my hair. And I got a big ass light. All right. I have been here before. There you go. There's Joker's Tunnel. If you look through, you can see light out the other side, which I'll go through in a second. Joker's Tunnel is a 100-metre long shaft that was driven clean through the side of the hill here. Like a lot of the gold south of Yalgoo or in the Yalgoo region, it was often found in quite thick patches, but then nothing. So there was hot strikes and then a lot of frustration where they would dig and dig and dig and find absolutely nothing, and then another hot strike. So this tunnel, this 100-metre long tunnel through the hillside here, they actually found nothing, no gold. Which is, yeah, as you can imagine, going through this granite would be quite irritating having to do that. So whilst this is called Joker's Tunnel, it's actually not on the Joker's mining lease, the original Joker's mining lease, which is to the southeast. This was the Star of Bilbertha, though, because the whole strike and the whole area was called Joker's lease. And there was a town that was never gazetted here, a short, just mining camp with huts and whatnot. They decided to call the whole region Joker, and then thus this tunnel they called Joker's Tunnel, even though it wasn't on the Joker's lease. But yeah, I'll take you for a look through, and you can imagine what it would have been like to quarry this hillside by hand in about, when was it settled? In 1894, William Knott discovered gold here in the Nose Nest Range, which is the short hill range. We call them mountain ranges in Australia, but we all know they're not really mountains, or at least in West Australia. Just having a read of that. Familiarising myself and refreshing my memory on this place. I'll go for a walk through the tunnel here. I do remember I had to squat a lot, which I don't like, but we'll do it. And I've got a big torch so you can actually see. I'll hold this. Let's see what I've drilled in there. Better take my sunnies off, they're not going to do me any good in here, are they? The hat will, though, save my head. Look at the pants. Looks like this must be, what, sandstone? It's a dark, light, purple, back to light. Thousands of these crickets. There's an old swift's nest up there. I mean, I haven't been here, again, probably nearly 10 years, so won't all be familiar. Little crickets on the roof. Look at them all, there's hundreds of thousands of them. They're just everywhere. Yep, this is as I remember. Here's some more. Anyway, see if we can find some bats while we're in here too, eh? So it's only about 100 metres long, so it's not a huge walk. Oh my God, look at the amount of them. There's just thousands, millions in here. Actually, millions. You got to be careful. Oh, there's one falling from the roof. You got to be careful in caves that have bats. Because in the guano, bat shit, all those cool, wicked diseases that we get springing up every so often are often the moth. Are often coming out of the guano in these caves. There's a bat there. Another one there. Not sure what species they are. I'll do a bit more research. They get fucking sunnies into the guano and they rinse them before we put them on again. Thought there was another bat here, but it wasn't. But how cool is the sandstone? That would have been the strike in that quartz. That's where the gold would have been. That's what we would have been chasing. Yeah. That bat flew away. Oh, the battery's on my back. One of the two. Can't believe I dropped my fucking sunnies in the guano. There you go. Another vein. Potential gold. So I can feel myself starting to walk downhill here. There's that little bat up there. Baby bat. Any more? No. More. So this rock looks less inviting for gold, I'd say. Not that I'm a miner or a geologist, but just by looking at it. Any more? There's one in there. So that's obviously a baby. I remember there being spots where there was, dozens of these bats together, more. But obviously things change. Well, there's fresh shit there, so that's a good sign that we're about to come across some bats. Who spooked him? There's another one there. Hey? Is that a tick on his face? Oh, there goes another one. Oh yeah, I can usually. Another one. To tell where they're going to be while looking for these manure and urine spots on the floor. You can't see the light down in there. Oh, I sure you can. That maybe better up here. There's another one in there. Yep, another bat. Little one up in there. Oh, there goes another bat. Didn't see where he come from. Oh, here we go. There's the white mass of baby bats. Oh, yeah, hold on, they're not babies, they're just a different type of bat. Sorry, buddies, I've annoyed you. Oh, there you go. Okay, so they're not babies. They're just a smaller species. There you go. There you go. That's a big guy again. Dead roo. Probably dragged in here by a dingo. Couple more on the roof here. 2 more there. Yep. Better rock again. Oh, my alarm's going off. Wake up, Jeff. Now, don't you fly out back of me when I walk past, all right? Oh, look at them all. Oi. Oi. You know, bats are supposed to be smart, but these ones just keep flying into my fucking head. Fuck, it's getting low down here. Fuck. There we go. That was uncomfortable. Sorry, buddy. Go back into your home. Now I've got them out and about. In you go. Back in. And this is the other side of the hill. Use the heavy breathing. I'm once again sick with my children illnesses from daycare. All right. Go back through. See if I can dodge the bats to the face. I'm not sure which side they would have started on, though, to be honest. Probably the other side, eh? Maybe. Not sure. Fuck, this is low. Too low for this fucking bloke. Huh. Go back through. See if we can dodge the bats again. Yeah, it's cool for a look. If you don't see bats every day. Shit myself. Oh, they're all flapping around down there now. I've really stirred them up, haven't I? Always look closer to the end than you actually are. There's all this talk that bats are, so good at a location, yada yada yada, and how do they never fly into each other? And I saw a doco, not that long ago, and the scientists are like, "Oh no, they absolutely fly into each other all the fucking time," which is pretty freaking hilarious. Oh, I've pissed them off enough for today. Oh, you little fucker. Nearly in my face every time. All right, that's done. I'm gonna have to watch my sunnies pretty nicely because of the guano. And I'm gonna get a big rock to take home with me because I said to the wife on this trip I'd find a nice large rock to bring home. Dog died about 2 or 3 weeks ago. And I've got him in the freezer. And I want to bury him down the beach, but being at the beach, anything wood or rot or anything steel will, metal will rust. So I just want a big, nice rock place where he is, where he's going to be anyway. So that's my plan. It's got to find one I can, big enough to carry, but not so big that it's hard to get in and out. All right, I'll show you the rock in the back of the car once I get it there. All right, a lot of heavy breathing. I got the stone down. I picked one. I went up the hillside there. Got all this sort of flattish, broken, jaspery. Yeah, again, I'm not a geologist, but sort of jaspery, ironstony, whatever it is. So I found a couple. Sometimes they were too big. Tried rolling them down, then they'd break and no longer be the shape that I wanted. Eventually settled on this one because it was probably about as big as I could carry down without seriously hurting myself. With a bit of a cold and lack of breathing. But anyway, that'll be big enough to use as a headstone, just to mark the spot where Ajax is going to get buried. So yeah, I just thought it'd be nice. I spent so much time out here. I'll just grab a stone from somewhere out here where I do a little work. Not that the dog's been out here before or anything like that, but yeah, it's just not that many stones like that around close to the drop. So whilst I'm here, I will do this before I forget. And then we'll hit the road back to Jarrah. In the last leg. Going to get this and do this. Because once I get up this Joker's Channel road, which is only about less than a K long, I'm back on bitumen the rest of the way. And I had a bit of Ks of a bitumen on the way here last night and this morning, and I probably should have done that for, but it wasn't that far either. All right. Cool. Yeah, I know they should be in there better, but I use them that often that I just like leaving them there like that. All right, cool. Sun's up. Done one last little bit of exploring just to scratch that itch, and now I head back home and get into the shitloads of work I've got to do. All right, catch you later. Fun fact is that, like the Joker, most of the mines in this area were named after the card game Euchre and characters from it, i.e. Full Hand, King and Queen of Hearts, Left and Right Bower, Spades and Aces. That was the names of all the different shafts or leases around here, which is pretty cool. I didn't really put it together that the Joker's Tunnel was literally come from the Jokers in the card game, or the card in a deck of cards. Gold was so rich here that the first 50 kilograms of stone produced 3 kilograms of gold. So if you want to do the math on that, what's that? That's pretty fucking good. 31 in 10. About 1 in 17. For every 17 kilos of stone, there's a kilo of gold. That's pretty incredible. The town, the battery, and the inn were only actually here at this little settlement that was never actually gazetted as a town for only about 4 years before they moved it again. They dismantled the whole lot and moved it over to Fields Find near Paynes Find and set it all up there again after the Joker's Tunnel was dug, basically, and they only got a small reward for a lot of effort. And obviously all the other shafts weren't weren't being as productive as they thought they would, and they just kept moving. Went to the next one. As all these sort of ghost towns, mining towns did, these gold towns, they just, struck it. Went hard. Everyone moved to the area for a short period of time, usually less than 10 years. Smashed it until everyone started not finding gold and heard about a gold strike somewhere else, and then everyone took off over there and started striking, digging holes and shafts there as well. That was the common way to do it. But yeah, just quickly pulled over at old Wuraga station homestead. Just a short little detour off the main highway. I think I've been through here before. I'm pretty sure I have. I don't think I even bothered getting out to have a look last time. It's obviously an old railway. Used to run straight through there. You can see a little bridge there. Little culvert. So this is the old railway line out to Megathara from Geraldton. So this would have been the old homestead, which also probably would have served as a railway station. There's a couple of little slabs, another one over there. Ruins of a car. The generator footing there. Not really much though. Old stone buildings, typical pepper trees. Old fridge. Old loading ramp for the train. What else we got here? An old car that's been shot to shit. What do you reckon bent that? That's fucking solid railway line. You know. Just got the tank out there, another generator stand there. And then a slab. Rectangular slab, well, horseshoe slab. Front steps. Interesting. Very odd shape. Bathroom. Another fireplace or something. And another water tank. And so these were donkeys. It's another type of donkey. Hot water. We'll set up on that. Fire underneath. Just a shed or something, I'd say. Oven. It almost looks like a fucking grave. Simpson oven. They're pretty rough with their concrete. Meat safe, maybe. I think there's a bit of rubbish out there. Could be a tip out there, but there's no idea. Out the fridge. Bit of Outback art. Made from tie jack. a car jack. Just find out who put that there. Fireplace. Stumps for the house. So all this part of the house would have been on timber stumps. Still solid. Little jumper. Still good. Hairy Mary, don't get that on you. Itch like crazy. Oh, nothing too exciting. There's a dam up here. We'll quickly have a look at that on the way past. This is Wuraga Dam. Steps and all. It's concrete. What the fuck are they chooks? They're fucking chooks. Or something like chooks. That whistling kite really wants to get one of them too. So there's a slipway, or you know, like a concrete, I don't know what you call it, concrete race on either side, heading in and out. It's really weird. Overflow, I guess they could be. What if there's yabbies in here? I'm going to get the big camera out and try and figure out what they are. They look like fucking chooks to me. And this whistling kite really wants to get one of them. Yeah, I'll have to do a bit of research on this spot. That guy there is pissing him off. And then there's some like chicken pen things over here. I can't see them anymore. That one there? Can't really tell what they are. They look like chickens. And there's a heap of them. Like 20. But we are out in station country. Here they come. What are they? Oh, they're going shooting back in. Oh, there's a kestrel flying over that spooked them. Whatever those chicken things are, they're just chilling over there while that whistling kite and that falcon keep flying overhead. Here comes the chicken things. That's better. Get out in the sunlight where I can see you. Still don't know what they are. G'day guys, just a little surveying lesson for you. Just wanted to go through state survey marks and how they're used and why they're around. So state survey marks are these little diamond plates you see all over WA, and at the base of these plates there will be a survey plaque like that. Sometimes they'll be in a concrete or a steel sunken little pit, and then you got to lift the lid off and get access to it. Or if you're out in a station country like this, most of them are just concreted in, sitting flush on the surface. This concrete's actually, you know, a foot deep, pretty damn solid, so it can survive a bit of a knock and not get too damaged. But yeah, so these state survey marks are put in by the government and by surveyors such as myself, following the government specs. So these SSMs are what we use to coordinate all our surveys across WA, and means that we can come to a job, set up and survey it, and then come back and survey it again and have the exact matching results. GPS itself isn't that accurate. It's the same as your handheld GPS. So, you know, a couple of meters. If we set up a GPS base on a known point, like this SSM is known, a known point on various grids and datums, but everything will eventually refer back to lats and longs. But this SSM has a fixed known latitude, longitude, and height. We use that to set our base up and then go and conduct our surveys. So we'll be doing surveys on the road here, or a floodway, or anything, various things. So these are fixed points that are used to help us survey and then come back and set out and survey again accurate data in remote areas throughout West Australia using GPS. You could still use a jigger as well, but you'd need to put more control in between the SSMs. Jigger, total station, whatever you want to call it. These survey marks put in by the government and surveyors. They're pretty much everywhere throughout West Australia that there's a road or there was a road. So you'll find some in some real remote areas where there's no longer an existing track, but there once was. So they all have a unique name. So this is YAL 105, which is Yalgoo 105, or short for Yalgoo 105. This one was put in by the Department of Land Admin. It's located 1 metre from this plaque at a bearing of 350 degrees. So facing this way, that'll be 0 degrees, right around 350 degrees there. So that's it's not always stamped. Not everyone does it like they should, but sometimes if they're buried, you have to rely upon that stamp to actually find it, because it could be, half a foot below the ground, or you can run a metal detector over it or whatever. So these survey marks, these are just the more modern version of the survey cans that I've shown you in a previous video. They're all over Australia, all over West Australia. Yeah, basically every bit of infrastructure, every new mine site, everything that gets built throughout West Australia, surveyed, comes off one of these points. Surveyors, roadworks crews set their own GPSs up on them to run their machine control for the grading and whatnot. So they're building the road in the right place and the right height. And yeah, so these diamond plaques that you see all over the place and these brass plates, state survey marks. It's also a government offence to damage one of these. So please don't hit them, because it can be very inconvenient for a surveyor such as myself to plan to use one like this. So there's this one here. There's another one probably 4 or 5 k's down the road. Another one 4 or 5 k's down the road. So if I come here and this one's been destroyed by someone accidentally, it's quite inconvenient. If my job is right here and I've got the SSM right here, perfect. But if this one's gone, I have to go 5 k's down the road, set up on there, shoot back, put another point in, temporary point in, shoot back, put another temporary point in to get a control point on site, which is not convenient for me. But yeah, cool. State survey marks. There you go. G'day guys, another little survey lesson for you. This is about property boundaries and cadastral corners. Cadastre, that's the digital boundary or the legal boundary of your property, whether it's a mining lease or a freehold lease, or there's another car coming. Yep, whether it's any sort of property boundary, mining lease, freehold lease, your town block, your larger farm properties, your pastoral stations. So they all need a physical boundary to identify where the boundary line runs. So whose property's on this side and whose property's on this side. So you get all these different types of cadastral marks. You would have seen them, particularly in town. You'll see either the old pegs with the white top, old timber pegs with the white top. You'll see the red top, plastic red tops that go on a aluminium peg, or the white tops that go on aluminium peg. When you come to the larger scale stuff, so I'm out in the station country between Yalgoo and Mullawa at the moment, these larger areas are done with concrete pegs with a copper top with a centre mark. So that's the actual physical boundary position. Car coming. So the different colours, so like I was saying, in town, the smaller blocks are done with the white pegs. The larger blocks are done with the red pegs or red caps. Obviously there is discrepancies with corners of blocks, of corners of like subdivisions. They're also red. There's a fair bit to it, but as a general rule, the white ones are for the smaller properties, the red ones are for the larger town blocks. And then when you get into the really big stuff out in the stations or the farms, that's where we start using these concrete blocks with the copper tops. All right, so if you see one of these, don't disturb it. It's either going to cost yourself or your neighbour a lot of money to have a surveyor come back and put it back in. But yeah, this is the legal boundary to which that's one property, that's the other property. So some of these pegs, like the timber ones, the real old timber ones, often when a cadastral surveyor comes out, he'll search for where it should be based on other cadastral marks and state SSM such as that. He will come out, dig, and sometimes, you know, some of these pegs were put in 100 years ago by the old surveyors, and underneath there's just a brown, so this is yellow dirt. He would dig across with the shovel, get a clear cross section of the soil, and he'll actually see a brown square. So it's no longer timber, the timber's rotted away, but there's a perfect rectangle where the peg was. And sometimes that's all they need, find the center of that rectangle or that square, and that's what they'll use to coordinate the new point. Sounds a bit rough, but yeah, when you're on thousands of square acres, millions of square acres out in some of this station country, that's more than accurate enough.